Hello mates, welcome to Full Stack Java Developer. I am Kiran Jadhav here. In this session, I will teach you here transactional annotation in Spring Boot. For that, we'll go to the use case for banking application, deposit money and withdraw money. That time, if any failure comes, then definitely transactional annotation, it will take care of roll back the transaction. Then first, we'll come up with the theory context and then we'll start with the practical implementation. See, transactional annotation in Spring Boot, make sure that all database operations in a method are done together. And if everything works, then definitely changes are saved into database. You can simply say like commit the changes. And if something goes to fails, then definitely changes are undone. It means roll back the transaction. It helps keep your data safe and consistent. Then what it does internally, like transactional annotation, we are using with the service layer as method level annotation. Then first like begin a transaction automatically before the method runs. Then commit the transaction if the method completes successfully. And in case if any failure comes, then definitely roll back the transaction if a runtime exception is thrown. And the use case we are going to work on here, like in a banking system, when you deposit money, like update account balance, we are going to perform there, right? And withdraw money, it means deduct from account balance. And see, you want to make sure that updates are safely committed or completely roll back if anything goes to failure. Example we are giving here, if you are trying to withdraw money, but if there is insufficient balance, that time definitely like transaction it will take care of roll back the transaction directly. Fine, perfect. Now we'll start with the practical implementation. For that perspective, I am coming with the Spring initializer and here creating the Spring Boot application. This is, you can simply say, Spring Boot project we are creating. The project as Maven, the language as Java, Spring Boot version, latest version we are using. The base package I am passing here com.fullstack. Artifact it means application name. The application name I am giving here banking application. Now refactor the base package. Packaging as Java version 17. Adding dependencies, dev tool for live load the application. Lombok, it will help us to reduce the boilerplate code. Spring Wave itself available inbuilt Tomcat server. Now using data JPA for persistence layer. Adding here MySQL as a database driver. Now simply click on generate. Within a minute production ready, application will be available there. Then simply right click, go with the extract, and once extraction is done, then we'll copy our application and paste into particular folder. See, here is it. I already created the folder, right? Yes. Now copy our application and simply come up with our IntelliJ. Come up with the file new project from existing sources, and here I am giving the path of our application. Then simply select folder, then click on create. I want to open a new window and then trust project. Then first thing, come up with the pom.xml file, and here I am adding Swagger UI dependency for API testing, org.spring.doc. You can simply type here spring.doc. Yes, the Swagger latest version we are using here. Now come up with the src main. We have available resources properties file, and in properties file I am just adding the database configuration content. The content I am copying from my existing any application, but in your case you can simply copy from our GitHub itself, GitHub project. Fine. Yes. Then here I am giving the database name as, you can simply say, bank application. Perfect. Now we'll simply come up with the Maven, come up with the clean space install. See, properties file you can simply download from, you can simply get it from our GitHub URL I will upload in YouTube video description box. See, for building the application it will take some time. Then meanwhile we will come up with the com.fullstack here base package. Right click on that new package. I am giving the package name as entity package. Perfect. Here entity package is created successfully. Now we are going to create next package, the package name as repository package. Next package we require the package name as service package. Now I am creating the package name as controller package. Then coming to entity package, creating new Java class, you can simply say this will be customer. In repository, creating new Java, this will be interface name as customer repository. Now come up with the service, giving new Java class as customer service. Come up with the controller, in that I am creating new Java class as customer controller. See, now our build also success. Then simply goes to like here Maven and reload the project, and we'll start with the implementation part now. Come up with the customer.java. This is our entity class. I am using here at the data annotation, like itself available getter setter and toString. At all are constructor for parameterized constructor, at no are constructor for default constructor. Using as entity because this is the entity class. Using here at table annotation and giving table name as customer. Then using at id, it means you can simply say this is primary key. At generated value, this will be auto increment, and the strategy we are giving here identity. Then giving variable here private, this will belong customer have id, private string, you can simply say customer have name, private we are using long, customer have contact number, bank customer have contact number as well, right? Next private, this will be string, customer have email id, and the one more field I am using private, this will be double, you can simply say customer have account balance. Yes, in my case time being I am just adding 5 fields, but in your case you can add number of fields as per business requirements. Then now simply come up with the next is our repository layer. For that perspective, come up with the repo, annotate with @repository annotation. Simply using here, this is extends jp repository, and here I am passing, this will be like customer, and corresponding wrapper class I am passing as long. And if you want to write any custom methods, you can write the custom method as well. Come up with the service layer, annotating with @service. And nowadays we are not using at @avoid annotation. Instead of that, we are using required arg constructor. Fine, great. And here I am using, this will be private final customer repository. Then first method I am writing here public. This will be, you can simply say customer. We are trying to save customer data, and this is I am passing here customer. Simply to return, we have available customer repo dot which method in build, save method available there. Simply call the customer. Perfect. Now trying to find by id, that's why I'm using here public. This will be, you can simply say optional. We are just passing here optional, right? Yes. And this is, we are passing entity as a customer. Simply say find by id. We are passing long cust id as a input, and simply call here return. This would be like repo dot find by id inbuilt method, passing the id as input. Then use or else throw, and we are using here Java feature like lambda expression, and we are going to throw here, this will be, you can say runtime exception, like id does not exist. Here we are trying to throw, right? You can simply say customer id does not exist. Then if you want to handle like global validation, already I covered this session, you can simply handle the global validation as well. Instead of using runtime exception, you can simply create your package like exception, in that create the like record not found exception, and the same name you can pass here. Fine, time being I am just using here runtime exception only. Now come up with the wrap using java.util.optional. Optional is a Java class coming from java.util package. It will help us to avoid null pointer exception. Perfect. Then see, now come up with the next we are going to write here like 2 methods. One is, you can simply select deposit, and the second one is we are going to use withdraw, and there we are using transactional annotation. Fine, perfect. Then I am using here public. This will be, you can simply say return type as customer, and the method name itself I am giving deposit, and there we are just going to pass long customer have id, corresponding customer we are trying to deposit the amount as a double type of amount, cust account balance you can simply say. Otherwise you can simply say double amount. Instead of account balance you can simply say, this will be like great naming convention, right? Double amount. Then once we are going to deposit, existing customer account balance will be available there, plus this additional amount we are trying to deposit. Fine, yes. But before that, if you are passing any minus, any like, you can simply say like negative value 0, right? Then definitely we are going to throw the exception as well. Perfect. Then see, I am just going to add here condition. You can simply say If amount is greater than or equal to 0, then you can simply throw the exception. Okay, this is throw, like new, we are giving the exception name as illegal argument exception. Perfect. And then here you can simply pass like whatever message you want to say. Here I am just going to say like deposit amount must be positive. Perfect. Now come up with the next we are trying to fetch the corresponding customer ID record. Customer equal to, you can simply call find by ID as the input, and we are calling here get method. Once we are getting this data, then definitely we are going to set the customer account balance. Customer dot set account balance. Then how we are going to set? Existing balance we are getting, customer dot get account balance plus this amount. It means we are going to deposit this, right? Yes. And then simply use return customer. See one screen, like such a logic we are going to put here, and annotate with transactional annotation. See, transactional annotation coming from Spring Framework only. Okay, org.springframework.transaction annotation. Perfect. Now we'll come up with the next we are going to implement logic for our withdraw. For that perspective, I am writing the method public. This will be customer, you can simply say withdraw, and here we are passing input as a long cust have ID, and for withdrawal amount we are passing as a double amount. Then whatever we have added here, right, this much logic, we are just going to add same here as well. Perfect. If you are trying to withdraw like somehow different amount, then definitely we are giving here illegal argument exception, but that time you can simply say withdraw amount must be positive. Fine. Yes. And once you are getting like this corresponding customer ID record, right, then definitely like here we are going to again throwing like insufficient fund as well. Like this is the, you can simply say message we are going to throw there. Fine. Yes. For that perspective, I am calling here if this will be like customer dot get account balance less than amount, then definitely we are using here, this will be throw new runtime exception. Okay, and here giving like exception, you can simply say insufficient fund. Okay, insufficient balance you can simply say, I am just giving insufficient fund itself. Fine. Great. Then now come up with the next. If it's sufficient balance, then definitely we are just going to add here customer dot set account balance. Then we are getting the customer account balance from customer entity, and we are using minus this amount. It means we are going to deduct the amount from there, right? Because this will be withdraw money transaction, and then simply use return customer. Then see, if like you are trying to withdraw money, but if any failure comes here like insufficient fund, then definitely it never goes to like withdraw the money, right? It just print the insufficient fund message, and definitely it will goes to reverse the transactional by using transactional annotation. That's why we are using here transactional annotation coming from Spring Framework itself. Okay, then same thing here as well. Like if you are passing like any negative number at 0, then definitely it will throw the like exception, deposit amount must be positive, right? Yes. Then it never goes to deposit the amount there. Like that's why we are using here transactional annotation. Like roll back the transaction, you can simply say reversal the transaction, right? Great. Then I hope you got the use case scenario here. Like first one we handle the deposit, and the second one we handle here withdraw. Okay, perfect. Now we'll come up with the controller layer. Annotate with REST controller at request mapping, and here you can simply say this will be customers. Now I am using here at required arc constructor. Now onwards always I will prefer to use required arc constructor only. Instead of at avoid we are using required arc constructor, and this like you can simply say service we are using as private. This will be final customer service. Then first API I am writing here, this will be for post mapping. You can simply say like we are trying to save customer data. This will be public, like response entity you can say. This will be customer we are passing here, and simply use the method as save. At request body we are passing here, because corresponding payload we are trying to process into database. Simply to return, this will be response entity dot okay. We are calling customer service dot save method available there, ending with semicolon. Next we are trying to find by ID. That's why I am using here get mapping. Okay, and there I am giving this is like find by ID. The corresponding input parameter I am passing as customer have ID. Simply use public. This will be a response entity. it will be type of optional class. It will help us to avoid null pointer exception, right? Great. We are passing here customer. This will be find by id. At the rate path variable as the input I am giving here long cust id. Now simply call return. This will be response entity dot okay, and we are calling here customer service dot find by id. id as an input. Now coming to next is we are trying to like, you can simply say deposit money, right? For that perspective we are just going to like update our account balance. Like few fields if you want to update, then go ahead with the patch mapping. Okay, even you can use put mapping, but I will recommend as per best practices. If you want to like only partial updates, then go ahead with the patch mapping. Then here we are going to say this will be deposit, and the corresponding, like you can simply say cust id we are passing, and here we are passing the amount as well. Then this amount you can simply say, for that perspective we are calling here this is amount. Otherwise if you want to say cust account balance, that also fine, but it will be like base naming convention, you can simply pass the amount itself. Then this will be public, like response entity we are adding here, this will be type as customer, and simply say deposit as a method name. Then here I am passing at the rate path variable. This will be long type of customer have id, and the corresponding we are using here at the rate path variable, and we are passing here double. This will be cust amount, you can simply say, right? Yes. Now simply call return. This will be response entity dot okay. We are calling customer service dot deposit, and we need to pass here id and the corresponding amount as well, ending with semicolon. Now come up with the next is you can simply say withdraw money. For that perspective again I am calling here batch mapping, and here we are giving like API name as withdraw, like corresponding customer id we are passing as the input parameter, and again we are passing here this will be whatever amount we are trying to withdraw, right? Amount is a variable, you can simply say public. This will be response entity, it will be type of our customer, and simply use here withdraw, and passing here at the rate path variable as the input parameter. This will be long type of customer have id, and the corresponding we are passing one more input parameter as a path variable. This will be double amount, you can simply say. If you want to pass here like this is request param, that also fine. Okay, yes. Now simply do return. This will be response entity dot okay, and we are calling customer service dot withdraw, and then you can simply pass. This will be like customer id and the corresponding amount we are passing there. Control A, Alt Control L, it will format the code base. Now such a way we done with the entire implementation. We are just coming to start our application here. Then simply run the Spring Boot application. Fine. Yes. See, we are just waiting to see the application up and running. The port number is 8080, and then we'll go ahead and hit the Swagger UI URL. Fine. Perfect. Application started on port number is 8080. Then simply come up with the Swagger URL. Swagger UI, you can simply say. I'm just hitting the Swagger URL here. This is localhost /swagger-HTML. Then first we'll try to save data. Just try it out. The ID I will remove from here. Customer name I am passing here Swara. Account number I am passing here some dummy account number. Email ID I am passing here swara@fullstack.com, and we'll pass the account balance initially as 15,000, you can simply say. Yes, data is inserted successfully, like first record available, right? I want to pass one more record. For that perspective I am passing here Pooja. The unique number we are passing as a contact number. This will be, you can simply say Pooja@fullstack.com, and Pooja account balance we are going to insert as 25,000. Data is inserted, second record also available in database. Perfect. If you want to write, go ahead with the find by ID, right? See, here is it. And if you are trying it first, it will paste the data for that. Fine. Great. Then now we are just trying to like deposit money. Then trying deposit money for here Sora. The first ID I am passing here like 1, and the amount I want to deposit as 50,000. Okay. Yeah. Otherwise you can simply say we are trying to deposit only 20,000. That will be fine. Okay. Execute. See. Here is available existing account balance plus whatever new amount we have added. Like the existing is 15,000 and the new is 20,000. Here is the amount, like a customer account balance, you can simply say 35,000. Perfect. But now if I am passing here, like you can simply say 0. Yeah, minus amount, we'll say minus 9,000 I'm passing here. Then we are expecting like illegal argument exception 500. This is, you can simply say illegal argument exception, deposit amount must be positive here, right? And same here, like you will be able to see like customer service java line number 29. It gives us like this is the exception, illegal argument exception, deposit amount must be positive, right? Yes. Then it will goes to rollback transaction from here only. Okay, it not goes to success the transaction, like you are not able to deposit this amount as well. Fine, great. Now we'll come up with the next. You can simply say withdraw. For withdraw perspective, try it out. I am passing customer ID 2. I am trying to withdraw only 5,000. See, here is withdrawal, right? After withdrawing amount, you are able to see there is available like 20,000 remaining for Puja customer account balance. Perfect. But again, now there is 20,000, but I am trying to withdraw. You can simply say 30,000. What message we are expecting? Insufficient account balance, insufficient fund we are expecting, right? See, here is it 500. This is insufficient fund, and here also like this is runtime exception. You can simply say again if you are coming with the Java, then see here is insufficient fund. Perfect. Then here line number 45 customer service.java line number 45 itself like goes to roll back the transaction, like it never goes to withdraw the amount here, right? Yes. Then transactional, like it help us to like roll back the transaction. You can simply say reverse the transaction, it not goes to success. Then here I want to like conclude this like scenario. If deposit or withdrawal logic fails, then definitely you can simply say the DB changes are rolled back directly. Fine. And it ensures data consistency and atomic updates to the balance for that perspective, right? Such a way like we covered here two use cases. One is like deposit money and the second one is withdraw money, and all like success and failure scenario we have seen here, right? Yeah. And again if you want to withdraw money only from this account, yes, you can simply pass 2,000. You are easily able to withdraw the amount. See on screen there is available 18,000, right? And now again if you want to deposit money for Puja customer, right? See, we have available deposit logic here like API. I'm just passing 2, and the deposit amount I'm passing, suppose here you can simply say 80,000. Execute it. See, there is available 98,000 as a customer account balance. Then such a way like we handle here the transactional annotation in Spring Boot. We have used here use case for banking application. Okay, but till if you have any questions, concerns, definitely feel free to add your comment in comment box. I'm happy to help you for that. And if you want to like check the real-time projects, then definitely every Sunday I am uploading the projects. You can simply go ahead with the code base for those projects as well. Then you will get the more real-time use cases there. Fine. Thanks for watching this video. Please do like, share, subscribe the channel to get more updates, and see you in next session.